Are you tired of feeling burned out? I know I used to feel burned out all the time. And then I discovered some tips, tools, and strategies to go from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. I will be sharing them on this show, as well as interviewing experts that are going to help you transform from exhausted to energized and stressed out to serene. If you're ready to break free from the burnout for good, let's jump into the show. Welcome, everyone, to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show. I am your host, Rebecca Whitman, helping you go from burned out and overwhelmed to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. And today we have Chris Champion on the show. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Rebecca, I appreciate it.
It's great to have you here. Chris is a veteran investor who has invested in over 120 software-related projects. He also has a huge real estate portfolio in the Las Vegas area. So he is a badass entrepreneur. He's a passionate speaker. He is the founder of the Connections community, which has hosted over 268 dinners worldwide with business leaders and celebrities. He produces live stream interviews to kick off high-profile events with exceptional thought leaders and celebrities. His book, Win the Day, is a guide to successful and sober living. And his second book, Faith Matters, is an important message to people that their life was meant for greatness. So, Chris, tell us about your journey leading up to you doing what you're doing today. What was Chris Champion like before he was a Vegas real estate investor and a software investor?
I think I've always been an entrepreneur, even from when I was 9 years old. I lived in Chicago and I didn't have a bike, and all my friends had a bike. And this pizza company had a promotion at my school, and they gave us this sheet of paper and they said, hey, these are all the prizes if you go and sell this many pizzas to raise money for the cause. We'll give you a bike, we'll give you a volleyball net, we'll give you all these things. And all I saw was the bike in the middle. And I ended up selling 316 3-packs of pizzas. The record before then of pizzas sold was literally 28. So I literally checked off with a marker. I remember I was checking off with a marker all the things that I could get with the points that I got from selling these pizzas. And I literally got everything on the sheet. I got the volleyball set, I got the pizza, I got the little radio. I even got so much stuff, I gave some stuff away to my friends. And I think even back then, I understood that if there's anything in life that you want, there's nothing you can't do to get it if you're willing to pay the price. And the price is hustle. You have to hustle hard.
And how old were you when you won that contest?
I was 9 years old. Funny thing is, I literally went to every house in my neighborhood, and then I expanded to the point where I literally hit every house and apartment for 4 square miles around my house. And to deliver the pizzas, they actually had a freezer truck follow me while I went door to door to deliver the pizzas, because I had so many pizzas. I didn't realize we had to actually deliver them too. So when they brought the pizza truck to the school to give me my award and all my prizes, the owner of the pizza place couldn't believe how many I sold. And he's like, listen, kid, we're going to help you deliver these pizzas because we've never had anyone sell so many pizzas. And the truck driver followed me while I literally ran back and forth and dropped off frozen pizzas, which, by the way, that was a bad way to raise money for the school, because a kid dropping off frozen pizzas in the middle of May in Chicago does not play out well. It was hot. People weren't home. The squirrels ate those pizzas, and the pizza company got a lot of calls from people going, who the hell put pizza in my doorway? And I came home, there were like 12 squirrels in my doorway eating pizza. And I'm like, and the guy's like, why'd you put it in the doorway? I'm like, answer the bell. I had to drop off the pizzas.
Well,
frozen pizza wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, that is a funny story. But I think as a 9-year-old, you learn that, no, the word no is a fertilizer for success. And so much of success in business is just playing the numbers.
Well, it's actually funny you mentioned that, because after a while, they gave us this pitch sheet to what to say to get people to sign up for the pizzas. And after a while, it wasn't working, and people were telling me to go fuck myself. Not actually to go fuck myself, but they were telling me no. And I just finally got rid of that sheet. And I finally one night I just said, I'm just going to be honest with this person. I said, lady, listen, my school's got a pizza drive-in. You like pizza. I like pizza. Everyone likes pizza. I don't have a bike, and I'm trying to get this bike. And if you could buy some pizzas from me, I'd really be appreciative. Well, I went from 9 out of 10 people telling me no to 9 out of 10 people telling me yes, because I changed that one thing, and I showed them what my goal was, what my passion was, what was driving me to be at their doorstep trying to sell them packs of pizzas. And I started off with, hey, lady, you like pizza. I like pizza. I need a bike. Maybe you can help me. I'm doing this for my school. Like, who's going to tell some 9-year-old kid, okay, take your pizza and shove it?
I love that too, because you shared your vision of what you were creating. So when you're in the business world as an entrepreneur, you want to share your vision. And when people are enrolled and how excited you are about your vision, a lot of times they will sign up for your product, good, or service. So there's just so many great lessons in that story. So
yeah, it's super important to be transparent and share things with people, because they'll want to be part of your journey. They'll want to help you up that mountain, up that ladder of success.
Yes. So what were some of your biggest challenges as an entrepreneur, and what were some of the mistakes that you learned the most from?
I mean, I think as an entrepreneur, you have to embrace failure. And whether you fail on a daily basis, weekly basis, or a monthly basis, every one of those failures is a lesson. It's a teacher. And, I think the biggest lesson that I learned, and there's a Rocky video where Rocky says, hey, life's going to come at you hard, and it's going to knock you down. And it's not how many times you can get hit. It's how many times you can hit back. And I don't know if you've ever seen that video or that meme, but it's actually the entrepreneur's message or mantra. Entrepreneurs, great ones, understand that life is going to come at you every day and hit you in the face. You just got to be willing to get back up and not quit on yourself. That's the biggest thing. So many entrepreneurs listen to life tell them to quit. So many people tell them to quit, but very few people hear the voice inside their head that says keep going. And that's it. I tell entrepreneurs, you gotta find a voice inside your head that when everything looks horrible, that tells you to keep going. Do not quit.
It's the only way to fail, isn't it? Is to quit on your dream, quit on your vision, and give up. I mean, you can pivot and try different ways to get to your dream, but if you quit, if you give up, you're done.
I couldn't agree with you more. I literally couldn't agree with you more.
And what is the alternative to, go work until you're 65 or 70 years old? And we all know there's hardly any Social Security left. So, now people are going to work until they're 80 or 90 years old. And it's really sad if you don't find a way to become an entrepreneur and set yourself and your family up for your older years. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, listen, at the end of the day, you got to work 8 hours a day, whether it's for somebody else's dream or your dream. If it's your vision, you get to work passionately. If it's somebody else's vision, I don't care how great their vision is, you're just not going to be passionate about anybody else's vision. Passion comes from doing something you love. And if you're doing something you love, you're going to passionately work 8 hours a day. But if you work for somebody else, you're just punching a clock. You don't care about their product, their vision, their roadmap.
Exactly. I mean, you're either building somebody else's dream or you're building your own. So, and I believe if somebody, can't afford to quit their job right away and start a business, to create a side hustle, just to do something on the side where you are building your own dream and not just your boss's.
Yeah. I guess couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. So you have multiple streams of income. How did you become a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and how many businesses do you have your hand in right now?
So I think at the end of the day, people, I have friends of mine that have seen me literally invest in so many different businesses. Some have failed gloriously, and some have succeeded gloriously. And I've had one friend in particular that asked me, well, why do you get involved in all these different opportunities and all these different businesses? And I tell them, listen, at the end of the day, God wants you to take a shot at things. God wants you to do things. God wants you to buy a piece of real estate and rent it out. God wants you to invest in a piece of software and build something that solves a problem. Because at least that's in my opinion. God wants me to do that because that's my gift. My gift is finding something and literally almost like plants. Like I have plants all over my house. And I love planting things, and I love watching it grow, and I love adding water, and I love seeing something come from nothing. And I think business. You look at Elon Musk; he's got what, 7 businesses that he's involved in that we know of, and maybe some other ones that he likes to invest in. At the end of the day, it gives me great joy to help nurture something from nothing and see something grow.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
I love building things. I love seeing the creation of stuff.
People think they want just the end result, but so much joy is in the hard work of the building of it. That's where you learn all your life lessons, and that's where you sculpt your soul.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And I noticed your book is about sobriety. It's a guide to successful sober living. Are you sober?
I'm sober 16 years in May. I made a decision to become sober, and I think it's actually been the greatest thing. I tell people all the time, you can live a sober life, and it will change the rest of your life. It will change your health. It'll make you healthier. It'll make your relationships healthier. It'll make you a smarter business person. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's the greatest thing I've ever done in my life.
I agree. I am also on a sober journey, and it is the greatest decision I ever made in my life. And yeah, it's so great just being present and not checked out, and just really putting myself into everything and not having a piece of myself, like, just not with this life. You feel more pain, but you feel more joy. And it's like, I want to feel everything. I don't want to be numbed out anymore.
I couldn't agree with you more. And
Yeah.
by the way, I mean, the funny thing is, I don't tell people what to do with their life when it comes to sobriety. But at the end of the day, some of the stupidest shit that I've ever done in my life has been under the influence. And if you ask other people, I guarantee you that if they look back on their life, some of the stupidest shit you do is when you're under the influence. So if you eliminate liquor and you live a sober life, you eliminate some of the stupid shit that you might do.
I did so much stupid shit. I'm so grateful that there were no cell phones when I went to high school and college, because those images would haunt me the rest of my life. Are you tired of endless diets and frustrating results? I know I was, and I didn't want to count calories, count macros, and I definitely didn't want to jab myself in the stomach with a needle to get the benefits of GLP-1. I'm so grateful I discovered the body transformation system. I have been on this easy to follow supplement program for a month, and I cannot even believe it. I went from 25% to 17% body fat. I haven't been under 20% body fat in my entire adult life. What I love about this system is it's all natural. It helps you regulate appetite, boost your metabolism, and burn fat. No chemicals, no needles, no harsh stimulants, no side effects, just results. All you have to do is go to the show notes to grab your sample. I can't wait for you to get the same results that I'm getting, and let's get lean and strong together. See you back in the show. Yeah, I love that you've had 268 successful networking dinners. How did you come up with this idea?
It's interesting. So in 2017, I spoke at CES, and I had the first time ever a Bitcoin stage or a crypto stage. And I was the last speaker that let me go up there and speak at the end. And I literally remember there was a sparse crowd there. And I said, hey, listen, I've had a good year. This was the first year that Bitcoin even moved a little bit. And I made quite a bit of money that year in Bitcoin. I said, listen, I'm going to buy everybody dinner tonight at my friend's sushi place. If you like sushi, join us at this place. Well, I thought like 20, 30 people were going to show up. 160 people show up. We shot some video content there. I literally had every table in the restaurant packed. My bill for the sushi that night was $29,000. It was crazy. And I thought, and the funny thing is, as I was leaving, there's like, hey, when are you doing this next dinner? And the next dinner, I'm like, are you crazy? I didn't think this was going to be this big. But it's funny, like people kept hitting me up, when's the next dinner? And then I just kept doing them. I called them crypto dinner club dinners after a while. And then I just started realizing it's not crypto that people were coming to the dinners for. It's the connections. And that when you put food in front of people, they put their phone away and they make valuable connections. Whereas if you go talk on stage at a trade show or a conference, if you really look at the audience while you're on stage talking, everyone's on their phone, texting and Instagramming and emailing and getting, and literally nobody paying attention to you. But at dinner, when you put food out in front of people, people make deep, meaningful connections. And yes, you make less connections, but you only need one great connection to level up the rest of your life, to level up the rest of your health.
Beautiful. So what are some tips on networking? How can you make that one connection genuine and real? And do you have any tips on how to be a good networker at these dinner parties or other networking events?
There's three things I tell people all the time. Don't go to an event, come home with a stack of business cards, because that doesn't mean you made a connection with everybody on that business card. Go look at an event and say to yourself, I'm going to make one great connection, and I'm going to find somebody that I can connect with that helps me level up my business or my health or my life. And go with that expectation, and you will literally come back with the right connections. You won't sit there with a lot of business cards that are meaningless cards. So that's number one. Number two, don't ever take somebody's business card. I don't give a fuck how bad they want to give it to you. Immediately start a text dialogue and say, listen, let me talk to you via text message. The reason being is people read their text messages within 3 minutes, 97% of the time. It is the number one way to get a message to somebody. Don't tag them on Instagram. Don't, hey, what's your Instagram? Let me connect with you there. I tell people, listen, connect with them via text message and start a dialogue, because that's a real connection. And then the third thing I tell people is, when you go to these events, listen twice as much as you talk. Sure, you're there to sell your makeup or to sell yourself or sell your product or whatever. But guess what? Maybe if you listen and you can help somebody by giving something that they need, you help level them up a little bit. Trust me, you help 10 people up the ladder of life just one step. I guarantee you one of those 10 is going to come back one day and give you something of great value.
That is really great advice. Do you have a good story about someone you met at an event and how they changed your life?
I think I meet a lot of people at events, and I think everyone has great value. I don't know if I've ever met anyone that like really changed my life per se. But I think at the end of the day, I've met people that have helped me write my books. I've had people that have helped me develop software together. I've worked with great software engineers that came to my events. I think at the end of the day, everyone has value. I don't value any one person more than the next.
That's great. So the show is about being balanced, beautiful, and abundant. You have several businesses. You're a writer, a speaker, having these network events. You're a proud dog dad. Do you have any advice for time management hacks or how to balance your life?
So I tell people this all the time. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning without an alarm clock. And if you can literally train your life to get up in the morning, like real early, and start your day early, go for a walk, get out there, breathe fresh air, and literally have that peaceful moment in time where you can literally get your mind right before the day gets started, Same thing at nighttime. Before I go to bed, I know what I'm going to do the next day. If you just get your mind right, you can get your life right, you can get your money right, you can get everything else right, and everything else will fall into place.
So one of your hacks is if you start the day earlier, you get more time.
You get some peaceful time. You get, no
Quiet
text
time.
messages. Yeah, you get to go out and breathe nature. But I take my dogs for a WALK. I can't say that word now because they'd lose their mind. But it's actually surprising because the one dog, she's a female. I'm pretty sure she knows how to spell already too. Because when I spelled the word WALK, she perks her ears up and she's like, "I know what you're saying."
That is so funny. So you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, you go walk your dogs. When do you actually start your work day? And do you have a morning routine other than walking the dogs?
Yeah, so I do have a morning routine. I start my day thanking God for everything I've been given. Start my day with a walk and get out in nature and breathe fresh air and get my body going. And then the other thing I start my day with, I make my dogs a breakfast. I give them some warm food, whether it's chicken or meat of some sort, just to give them something warm in their bowl of kibble. I think at the end of the day, you should give your dogs like one really good meal a day. And the funny thing is they look forward to breakfast. Like they love breakfast. I call it breakfast.
Go ahead.
No, whenever I serve it to them, I tell them it's brekkie, BREAKY. They hear that word and they lose their mind.
What are some of the things that you cook for your dogs?
Chicken breast, London, like a steak. I'll chop that up into pieces, give them like some meat, some sausage every now and then in small portions because it's high in sodium. But just give them something warm and something high in protein.
Oh, that's great.
I'll even give them vegetables every now and then. Sweet peppers. They like sweet peppers in their food every now and then.
You are a world-class doggy daddy and entrepreneur. So what role has personal development played in your entrepreneurial journey? Like coaching, podcasts, seminars, like what have been some of the pivotal moments?
So when I was young, I literally got a chance to hang out with Tony Robbins at a bunch of his events, do the fire walk, the unleash the power within. And I started learning about personal development from Tony, and I spent 6 years with him. And at the end of the day,
did you work for him or just go to his seminars for 6 years?
What's called a field coach, where I literally work in the crowd and help people in small groups. So he'll have like 3,000 people in the crowd, and it'll be like a small group of 10 people that we'll work with.
And what were some of your biggest takeaways from your work with Tony? Like what were some of the biggest life lessons?
Neuro-linguistic programming. That was one of the biggest things that I think to this day I share with people all the time. I don't know if are you familiar with NLP?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So whatever you tell your mind, whatever you tell yourself over and over again, you're literally programming your mind. You're literally telling your mind what's possible and what's impossible. And I literally watch the words that leave my mouth every single day, because whatever leaves my mouth goes into my brain right away. And whatever I tell myself is possible, that is probably what is possible. That's probably what I'm going to achieve. But whatever I tell myself is impossible, which I literally tell myself no limiting beliefs, I literally come to the reality that you can program your mind to achieve anything in life. And yes, things are going to be challenging. Things are going to be tough. Things are going to be tight sometimes. The failure may come into your life. But at the end of the day, you got to just move forward, and you got to take control of your brain. And so many people let TV and social media control what they put in their brain, when in reality, the only person that should be controlling what's put in your brain is you. You should be in control of what you put in your brain.
Yes, I am a big believer of that, Chris. I feel like people are so specific with what they put in their body, and they're counting their macros and they're counting their calories and they're doing all these crazy fad diets, but yet they say things that come out of their mouth that is affecting their life in such a dramatic way. And if they would be as deliberate with what is coming out of their mouth, as they are with what is going into their mouth with food, it would be amazing the different results that they get. So I could not agree with you more. So what do you want your legacy to be? You're like me. We don't have a biological legacy because we don't have kids. But what do you want your legacy to be, Chris?
You know, I don't know if I'm there yet, but I know that it's important that I leave something of value behind. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've been pushing my books out there more. I want to leave people something that can be a roadmap and a tool to help them live a better life than they might have. And one of the things that I've done recently is produce 90-day journals with inspirational quotes on the left side and ruled lines on the other side, and broken it down into 2 things. Win this day, things that you're going to do to win the day, and then make today count, things that you either generated revenue or things that you spent money on, and literally keep people focused on just those 2 categories, wins and making things count. And at the end of the day, when I say make today count, when I say that, there's only 2 things that happen. 1, you make it count by bringing in revenue, and 2, you make it count by watching how much revenue is going out. And then you look at your investments and the things that you're making money off of.
I'm a big believer in journaling. I think journaling is such an incredible tool for processing. So do you do journaling every day in that format?
Yeah, I think journaling is great. Goal setting journaling, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, journaling is super important to stay accountable.
Yeah, I love
it's so funny. I got a message and it had your name on it, and I was like, "What? I'm talking to you." But it's some automated email that you sent out.
Oh, okay. Like, see, we were just talking about that. You got to have AI working for you all the time. So there you go. It was working for me while I was having this conversation.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, it's literally amazing.
It is. So I always like ending with this question. If you had a billboard by the side of the road, what would you want it to say? What would be your biggest life lesson or wisdom to share with the people driving down the highway?
Chris Champion made his life count.
That is a great message, because I think that's what we all want to do, right? While we're here, is to make our life count. And Chris, what do you have coming up, and where can people stay in touch with you?
All the events that I work with around sporting events are posted on my Instagram and on my website. The next big thing that we have coming up is F1. We're doing the first influencer photo shoot. At F1, we've got a private breakfast and a private dinner. Should be a lot of fun. About 100 people that we're doing a photo shoot with around F1, around the McLaren race car and the paddock over at the F1 here in Las Vegas. I don't know if people are excited about F1 or not, but it is pretty impressive. These amazing cars that are super fast.
What is F1? Forgive my ignorance. I'm not a race car person, but is F1 a model of car?
Yeah, F1 is it's definitely a model of a car. If you Google F1, you'll see the small, like, it's crazy small car. Like, it's the very fast, sleek, long, small car. It's not NASCAR. It's not like the big American-made cars. It's like the European, very fast, like aerodynamically built car where, like, literally you're jammed inside of it.
And this is a type of racing with these tiny little cars, tiny fast cars.
Yeah, it's F1 is a race league, I guess.
Got it. Very cool. And then what is your website, and where can people find you on social?
championexperiences.com. And then most of my social is I am Chris Champion, all one word.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Chris, for being my guest. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant podcast. Because of your loyalty, we are the top 1% rated podcast globally. So keep listening, keep sharing, keep rating, reviewing, and subscribing. We love you, listeners. Have a great rest of your day. And until we meet again, keep your vibe high and magnetized. Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening to another amazing episode of the Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show. I hope you found great advice and actionable tips. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend. And if you loved it, rate, review, and subscribe. We are so excited to watch you transform from burned out to blissed out as you continue with us on this transformation journey. Until next time, keep your vibe high and magnetize. Imagine looking back at the end of 2025 and saying the best decision I ever made in the entire year was going to the Mindset Manifestation Retreat in Playa del Carmen, Mexico with Rebecca. Not only will we set intentions, goals, and strategies for your new year, we will give you 21 customized affirmations, a vision board, a power word, a playlist, and every tool you need to get all 7 pillars of your life to a level 10 and to crush your goals in 2025. In addition to all the goal setting and masterminding, you'll get to relax in a luxury spa, do yoga, and have a sound bath, all at a beautiful retreat, an amazing Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And if you can't make it all the way to Mexico, which I know you want to do, and I can't wait to see you in Mexico, I'm having a little mini version of that on December 29th. It is a free training I do every year for my community called the New Year, New You Workshop, where you will get 21 customized affirmations to make sure that 2025 is your best year ever. Go to the show notes to learn more. I'll see you at the retreat.